right, I'm dancing, getting ready, people. Welcome to the best goddamn paranormal Mandela effects, whatever you want to fucking call it, the number one show right here. Number one. Why we're number one? Because we got common sense. We speak the truth. Common sense, plain and simple. That's why we're number one. We're not going to plant memories in you. We're not going to lie to you. We'll give you our opinion, and we'll move on. That's all the show's about, discussion. You notice the title, what we know about global warming. Be honest with you, I really don't know shit. I just know what I've been told on TV, or the science, whatever. I can't sit here and tell you that I'm an expert, because nobody's an expert. We don't know. But we're gonna have We're gonna have a discussion about it. We're gonna see maybe there's something that we do know. Maybe there's something that Bob knows. I don't know. Dinosaur farts. So we all seen the episode, that wonderful episode of South Park when they all fart, it caused like a global warming in the town of South Park. So and all that. So I'm home if you want me to join. Okay, more the merrier. Today's gonna be a little faster show, I guess you could say. We're not gonna go the full 2 hours, just because I gotta get ready to fly out tonight and all that. So Bob, how the hell are you? You doing all right?
I'm shocked you're on. I was like, you flying out, you're overworking yourself.
Well, we're flying out on a red-eye flight. We're actually flying out at midnight.
Yeah.
And right now, the wife is working and all that. So, it's... Yeah. I mean, what am I going to be doing? I mean, I'm already packed. There's like, I'll just be sitting around going, all that. So...
But you probably forgot something. What did you forget?
I don't know. I haven't left yet.
Did you check your bags? Did you recheck them and double check them and triple check them?
Probably. I mean, there's a little bit more stuff I'm packing. Like, I'm going to be packing this green screen behind me actually with me.
Oh shit! Really? Oh wow! That's your check-in, right? You're doing that. You're checking that in.
Well, this one's not with the poles. I'm just going to fold it and put it in my luggage.
Oh, okay.
Because on this trip, we're not staying at the family's house.
Oh.
We're not staying at the family's house. We're actually staying in a hotel this time because on this trip, Bob, Carrie, Miguel, they're going too, and their kids.
Oh my God, you got a packed house.
So it's not a big enough house for all of us. So we're staying at a hotel. So since I'm staying at a hotel, that's why I was saying that sometime next week, we're not going to be doing 3 shows next week. No show this Friday. I'm going to try to squeeze in at least one somewhere in the middle, because I am going to be staying in the hotel. But Bob, you sent me an email on a timeline. Is that timeline for today?
Well, yeah, that was the same one you had sent out for the last show.
Okay, we'll do that because I just want to do a little fast. I just want to do. I hear feedback.
I think. It's definitely our buddy here.
Okay. Just a little feedback. It's kind of funny, Bob. I'll just do a little fast recap. We're not going to go into it, but I put our video on Reddit, that we did on Monday. Yeah. And I love people on Reddit. I really do. They're so wonderful. I get this one guy on Reddit. Right? The guy goes, dude, why are you trying to take our Mandela effects away from us? And I said, I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I can't take away what you don't have. People on Reddit think you're talking about every single effect. No, it's actually on Bigfoot. I think your audio is echoing.
Is it still echoing right now?
Let me see. Okay, I think it stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get at this. So I'm not trying to take away anybody's effects, but there's certain effects that you got to be at the right age. And somebody left a comment on a regular comment on our YouTube channel one, and he wrote, "Well, I wasn't around the 70s. I wasn't born in the 70s, but, born in the 80s. But I went to school in the 90s, and I remember Ed McMahon. I'm like, no, you probably have a planted memory because the timeline don't work for you. I'm not trying to take away people's effects, but there's certain ones that has to follow the timeline. All right.
Yeah,
now, nobody argued with me on Reddit about Nelson Mandela. That's cut and dry because you just can't. 1983, you just can't. But everybody wants Ed so bad to be in effect. And I'm trying to tell people, I go, dude, it's all right. It doesn't. Not every effect somebody's going to have. It's all right. Calm down. Ed McMahon, you can't have that memory. But you probably have 20,000 other memories. That's fine. Yeah, You've got to follow the timeline. So that's
I like looking at the other shit. I'm smarter than average.
And then I made since I'm flying out tonight, I made a fun little music video. So if you guys want to see a little fun little music video that I dedicated to myself, I made a music video with airplanes.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Now, and then Bob, this is kind of funny. Somebody sent me an email going, Doctor and Medics, I never heard of a remake of the song Spirit in the Sky. Somebody wrote that, right? So I go, well, are you from the UK? He goes, yeah, I'm actually from the UK. Well, Doctor and Medics is a UK pop rock band that in 1981, their remake was #1.
Maybe he didn't exist for them.
So it's a remake of the song, but it's a good remake. It's a solid remake, and I thought the remake fit better because most airplane horror movies technically are all B movies anyway. So I didn't want the A song. I wanted the B song. So I thought it fit better because every clip I put in it, you could say it's all B movies except for the one scene in Twilight Zone. That's probably the only one. But I got the Stephen King, Longler, stuff in there. So it's all B clips, basically. Yeah. So the B clip, Spirit in the Sky. If I wanted clicks, I would use the original. Yeah. But I was doing it for fun. So, Bob, now you asked me to bring up a timeline that I actually showed on Monday, but you probably saw something that we probably missed. Now, the timeline, guys, we're talking about real quick. We'll get to the global warming. We're talking about this is the timeline for Nelson Mandela. So Bob, what part of this you want me to show?
Okay, you're gonna scroll down to let me see 19. Hold on. It'll be right there. Okay, there. Okay, stop right there. Go back up one. Okay, stop right there. Okay, stay right there. I'm gonna explain this first. Let me explain to people. You're all fucking idiots. Now, a lot of people out there don't realize that they're stupid because I'm on a stupid planet. This is idiocracy, okay? This is where we live. You believe stupid shit because you're an idiot. That's the problem. Everybody wants to fucking have some kind of beautiful spiritual fucking Mandela effect or whatever, and you're taking all this information in from the internet and you're fucking believing it, and you're basing all of your livestock from your farm on these stupid ass information you guys are getting. So Eric brought this up, and I want to prove it to you. I'm gonna let you guys. It's up to you as an individual if you want to believe some things. Now, I'm not stupid, and I know about a lot of things. What I can know. But I'm gonna go here. We're gonna look at 1939. Eric, now what does 1939 spell? What's add that up? What's that mathematically? 1939.
If you go all pluses, 9 plus 1 is 10, 13. 13 plus 9 is...
Well, it's 13. 20. Well, It was, hold on. 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. Okay, wait. 1 plus 9 is 10 plus... Okay, anyway. Yeah, anyway. You're right, yeah. So the math is there. I want people to kind of look at that, and I want you guys to look at one of the things where Nelson Mandela, what school was he enrolled in? I want you to look at the school that he was enrolled in.
Enrolls at the University College of Fort Harry in Alice.
Okay. Now, I'm happy that Bigfoot Anon is sitting right there. Now, can you read that sentence there, Bigfoot Anon, and can you determine or do you have a vision in your mind? Let me see this. And now he was enrolled at the University College. What the fuck is that? I don't know what the fuck that is. University College of Fort Hare in Alice. Now, can you explain to the people out there what comes to mind there, Bigfoot Anon?
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a trap because it's like a triple conundrum. University, college, those cancel each other out, and then it's at a military base. So clearly, there was bigger strings being pulled during all of this. And I was doing some research on Nelson. His original name isn't even Nelson. So the whole
Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
It throws you right down the rabbit hole forever. And those who are looking, the signs are clear as day.
Alice in Wonderland, and exactly what he said about the military college, university / college, and Fort Hare. Fort Hare in Alice? Really, man? Come on. Really? This information is what people are just like this all over the fucking web. Everything is designed to have you spin over and over again. Now, I want you to stroll down, keep going nice and slow, go on down. And people just kind of, keep on going, more towards the bottom. And you're going to see a series of names. Keep going.
Here's a bunch of names. 1963.
Let's see.
Appears in court for the first time. Those names, or keep going down.
Keep going down.
Berenstain. That's
okay.
clear.
We got him. We found it.
Where?
Goldberg and Berenstain. If you scroll up a little bit more, you can see Goldberg as well.
What year?
Probably 62. So just scroll just up a little bit. Yep, there's Goldberg in October 9th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, everybody was convicted with the exception of Berenstain. So everybody was convicted of a crime with Home Slice here for acts of terror. Now, it seems that he likes to run around with, I don't understand, with just Jewish guys. It's a South African guy that represented all Africans and blacks and blah, 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 blah. Ran around with all these Jewish guys. Okay, anyway, so at the university with the military fort, anyway. So, and it is this Berenstain ring a bell with anybody?
It says here, Lionel Rusty Berenstain was a Jewish South African anti-imperial activist and a political prisoner. He played in a key role.
And he was the only one not convicted. So if you scroll down, you're going to see. But where does Berenstain? What name Berenstain? The only one not convicted of a crime and not sent to jail was Berenstain. Now, what is that? Does that ring a bell to you, Eric?
Well, Berenstain is known for the Berenstain Bears, the book.
Yeah, Berenstain Bears. So there's your fucking Berenstain. And then there's the fact that he was the only one not convicted. The only other one that's out of the loop. It's unusual. This whole thing smells. It's got a story to it.
Yep.
If you go into the whole history and read carefully, this is all bullshit. And again, this is all bullshit. And it also goes down to the numbers, Eric. They add up to 13s from that. Or not add up. There are 13s from all the way down there.
I took this picture yesterday at my store. The Berenstain Bears, spooky old time, and Game Boy Advance. It's a GBA game, but of course I remember Berenstain, so it is so trippy for me to always see the AIN, no matter how many times, man. It's Berenstain to me.
Yeah, and so Berenstain was the best friend of Eric. Go back up. Now, Berenstain, okay, stop right there. There we go. So you got June. He arrived on Reuben Island. He goes the 13th of July. In 1969, another 13th of July, Thumberlike is killed in a car accident. November 31st. Anyway, but Berenstain was the only one of his best buddies that was not convicted. So, and then it would be that name would be the weird thing that had changed in another book. it's weird. Okay, it could have been anybody else but this guy, and then there was a weird change with this person's name. And he went to Hare University. Anyway, this whole thing stinks of bullshit. It's got its own little story. If you really into like breaking down codes, if you're a detective, you like playing detective, you like clues, you could find tons of funny ass shit in all of this information from the interwebs, which is all fake bullshit. Now, Eric, we're not going to go over the fact that we've proven if you could put in any number of deaths due to COVID, you're going to have a sentence with that number. That number will be in every.
That Berenstain guy says the Berenstain eventually made their way into Zambia. It's almost like zombies. Zambia, Zambia. It's almost like he made his way into zombie land.
Yeah,
in a way. I'm not. It doesn't.
No. Correct. It's the same thing as going to Hare University in Alice, the town of Alice. If you take and remove your mind, now we're just go silly, go comic book. That's why it's great having Bigfoot on here. Go comic book on it, and remove yourself from it and think silly. Let your brain go silly. You can read these things and it goes in a silly direction. Zombia, yeah, it kind of goes in that.
Almost like zombie land, like zombie land.
Berenstain goes into zombie land, Zambia. Anyway, yeah, as silly as you were thinking about it in your mind is as silly as I got it when I'm reading down. The whole thing, it's got weird. It goes into weird, silly directions. So I want to warn people out there that have, again, I have that. I clearly remember Berenstain. I'm not going to argue. I'm like, okay, people can deny it all they want. That's fine. I don't care. It's not my problem. I walk away. It's the fact that it's got something to do with the prior history.
True.
It's not the change. It's the code within the change.
Berenstain is something you can't deny anybody just because Berenstain's different. Berenstain's always been books throughout the years, so it's not like you can skip a generation, kind of like Nelson Mandela. So I am not at all taking anybody's Berenstain Bears away from them. It's just people who say Nelson Mandela died for them when he died in 1983 when they weren't even born.
Well,
those are the people that I'm calling out.
Well,
but it doesn't mean, like you said, Bob, it doesn't mean, even though Nelson Mandela cannot be your effect, but it doesn't mean like what Bob did is doing your research, look at his background, finding key names, Berenstain, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's a code.
It's a code. It's codes.
This whole damn matrix is a big ass game of clues. Now, you don't have to have the memory of it.
I'm sorry, Bob. I'm sorry. I had to laugh. In 1996, divorces Weenie Mandela. I'm thinking of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. You can go through it, and there are silly connotations and silly ways of. Your mind can go into. They got the weirdest names for things, silly things, and Winnie the Pooh had a change for a group of people. I don't care if you're one of them or not. It don't matter if you have any effects. It's the fact that the effects changes themselves are, in fact, clues into a silly game. It goes nowhere now, people. It goes into a circle. Okay, you're chasing the dragon's tail. But when you go through this, Eric was providing information last week, and I said, I don't care about people with I don't believe in that. I believe in the clues. There's a clue effect. Okay, there's a game afoot. So I'm looking at the game of it, and I'm going to a game of this.
If you also think about the fantasy comic book world,
and
one of the things that Nelson Mandela was popular for, because apparently he told his rugby team that he wants to win the FIFA World Cup. Now, no offense to Africa, they had no business to even be in the final rounds in the championship to even win it. So it's almost like it's a fixed world tour because they had no business winning this. I'm serious. It's weird, like a perfect movie, kind of like watching Mighty Ducks.
Exactly, like
comes in. He's going to encourage you. and you're going to win the best of the best in the world. It just it seems impossible. It seems impossible.
I don't remember no fucking weird ass soccer game that had happened with the whole
not soccer, rugby.
Oh, rugby. The underdog. There was an underdog rugby team. The underdog win. The big win. The all those cool movies we watch where there's an underdog, like The Replacements. Right, with Keanu Reeves, remember the Replacements? Yeah.
Which is technically based on a true story without the names.
Yeah, The Replacements. What was it? The Mighty Ducks? Was it Ducks?
The Mighty Ducks with Emilio Estevez.
Also, he had a ragtag crazy team. And if you look at the rugby team, if you really look at it and you're into movies, into weird shit, it reminds me of the Bad News Bears.
Bad News Bears. Yeah.
So I'm like, this is like a movie, man. Like the Bad News Bears, all those underdog movies. I go, what? Wait, I don't remember any of, but it's a movie reminiscent. And they come out on top, and Nelson Mandela was there for the final victory because he supported the team. And I'm like, what the fuck? When did this happen? But I'm not saying it didn't, because it did happen. But it's the fact that it happened in that context. Because don't forget that Nelson Mandela went to Hare University in the town of Rabbit. Huh?
It's all different languages, man. It's codes. It's just codes, and it leads you into a cycle. If you look at geometry of just a couple things, I have it saved right here on my phone. If it's added up, climate change, moon landings, fake reality TV, they all exit, at 56. It's very interesting. And then I just typed in Mandela, and it equals 101 in Jewish. It equals 300 in the English. It equals 50 in the simple gematria. M, of course, is 13. It's so amazing just how it all goes together. It's weird, man.
300, 13. I'm like, okay, man. There's the 13 to me is another one of those markers. It's not magical, people. There's nobody fucking doing sorcery, but it does seem to have some sort of God marker. You want to call it? I don't care. A matrix marker, living universe marker. The devil's marker. I don't fucking believe in that, but whatever your marker is, it is there, and it's consistent with a lot of things. So when we started catching these, wait a minute, let's start looking through it first. Start finding the 13s. Oh, I know, it's silly. Boom. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, we got University of College of the Hair of the town of Alice. Like, oh, here we go. Go back to the stop. Start reading its way down, and then Eric, start thinking silly comic booky. Winnie is in there. Of course, there's a Zambia. Like, okay,
that's why that is exactly why, Bob. When we do talk about Mandela, we go into it deep on where it came from, where it started, where it's from. Because we can sit here all fucking day and say, when did you remember that it changed? Oh,
who gives a shit? Let's look at let's debunk the code. We obviously have enough people with some kind of fake memory. I'd say 99.9% of them are just fucking mentally ill, but then there's the 1% that I do believe. I know they're an honest person, and for some reason they're having a loophole on their brain. Cool. Write it down. Let's find out. Let's break down this code. Where the fuck is it going? Of course, it always ends up in a circle, but it's kind of cool just to find the loop.
And
just
also,
to find that loop is in there.
I do got it off subject right before getting to global warming. I got to give you credit. Yesterday, even though I was supposed to be packing, and we did a long ass show yesterday, longer than I was expecting, but it was great. But I actually watched 3 episodes of Black Summer.
Oh,
and hold on, let me tell people something. Bob and I all agreed that The Walking Dead was missing something. Even though maybe the last seasons were better than the previous seasons, I'm probably going to do a whole show on this on the Horror Talk channel. But the 3 episodes that I saw on Black Summer is exactly what The Walking Dead is missing. I'm not going to tell anybody about it because I want to finish it. I want to do a whole show breaking the whole series down.
Yeah.
But that fucking show has energy. That Walking Dead needs to end because too many characters are gone. They're all leaving, and it just doesn't have that magic. Black Summer, people, if you haven't seen it yet, the only reason I'm bringing it up because I want all of you to watch Black Summer. So when I come back from New York, we're going to do a full show on Black Summer because so far, it's the hell of a fucking zombie show. So far.
Now, did you notice the dynamics of that one? Now, that one, again, I'm anthropology, guys, non-biased. I am not pointing a finger either way or any directions. It's up to you as an individual. Do understand that when you watch this movie, you're going to notice it's just what the producers and the writers put out. I'm only a messenger. That you have strong female protagonists that can push through anything, and that's what they're showing. Also, you have a percentage of people of color that can also push through anything. And then you'll see what I'm talking about watching the movie. Then you'll have people of non-color, of Caucasoid nature, of European descent. They're the bad guys. You're going to see a large string of bad guys that are I would say, European in descent of ancestry. They're typical rednecks and all. They were portrayed as the bad ones. Again, you go back and you watch. Don't listen to what I say. Take that out of your head and just watch the show. You're going to see people of color and strong female protagonists throughout the whole series. And then you will see parts and pieces of people of European descent in there, only in partial parts. And they're pretty much the fucking horrible monsters. I mean, in this show, and I'm going, okay, I'm writing down the dynamics. I don't care.
No, I can see that. I only watched 3 episodes. I only watched 3 episodes, but they had a Chinese girl that can only speak Chinese.
Korean.
Oh, she's Korean. Yeah. So I'm ready to finish it to see.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see what you're seeing, but so far, the show has energy.
Yeah, they have the Korean girl that it's pretty strong in the show, and she's just moving right through. And anyway, you'll see the dynamics of this. You will see this. They have pushed it into a way. It falls into what they call the agenda movie themes now. The agenda this. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying this. It's another one of those films that's following it. I enjoyed the shit out of it regardless. I don't care.
Oh yeah. I mean, Hollywood, they're doing changes because they can, and it's like,
yeah,
if they do it correctly with a good story, you could get through it. But if you have a bad story, then people are going to see what you're pushing. So if you're going to push agenda, you got to make sure that story is strong because good story will bypass the agenda.
Yeah, and I'm in England, so I can ask. I asked an English person. I watched it with a group of roommates, and the English person, I was a female, and I said, "What do you feel after this? What do you feel?" This person says, "I feel like I should be scared of guys like you with the beard and wearing camouflage with fucking rifles." I said, "Yeah, that's what I got out of it too."
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's we live in weird times now. You really do. My wife went to Muckleshoot Casino, and they gave her like this free mask. Now this free mask is actually all camouflage color, and she's like, I can't wear this because if I wear this, everybody's gonna think I'm a Trump supporter or something. So now like camouflage is a symbol for not just a redneck. I'm talking about like a dumb redneck or something. Or now if I have American flag, I'm automatically a Trump supporter. It's so weird how things that we can't even look at a flag anymore and say I'm a proud America, because if you show that flag, somebody will say, "Oh, he's a Trump supporter." So it's just weird that it's a weird times that we live in.
Yeah,
now, if you go into global warming, right? Now, global warming, like I said, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a history major person, so I can't sit here and tell you everything we're being told on global warming is true or not. This is just my opinion, and this is just a discussion about global warming, because I don't know. First of all, Bob, let's start from here. Now, what the science that we do know, science that Bob, you went to school for anthropology on this part. Yeah. How old the Earth itself supposed to be?
Well, we're talking like we're what was it, the new one, like the 3 billion now? It's 4 billion, 3 billion. It keeps everything everything goes up to 3, or is it 13 billion? I don't fucking know. It keeps changing on me.
But okay, so for example, let's just say the Earth is only 1 billion out of a 3 billion.
Yeah, who knows?
It's hard. People always say we're breaking new records. Who knows? But if the planet, just for sake, it's only 1 billion years old.
Oh yeah.
How do we know the true cycle of a planet when it's been here over 1 billion, when our lifespan on average is between 60 to 100, where in that little pot we're gonna die?
Well,
how do we really know the bigger piece of a pie?
Well, according to the equipment they have, they're breaking down basically the radioactive. I'm going to use layman's terms. Radioactive.
Let's do it. That's why we're discussing this.
It's radioactive. So every object, just like in a video game, has its life expectancy. Every rock has its life expectancy. It's going to fucking die. I know it sounds, what do you mean it's good? No, everything changes. So everything breaks down. That's where radiation comes from. That's why you have
people. Bob went to college for this. This is part of his course for his anthropology degree. So this is how. So Bob's not talking out of his ass. He's talking that what he learned.
Well, all materials break down. Everything breaks down and has its breakdown point. Everything. Carbon is about 30,000 years, according to the research used and the machines used to determine how old something is. And again, let's not go back to me. Let's go to the narrative. That's the narrative. Let's use that, okay? Narrative-wise, the material breaks down at 30,000 years, carbon. And we have measurement machines that can determine it's been 30,000 years or not for this material, according to the machines and the narrative and the science. You won't believe it? I don't blame you for not believing it. A lot of lies came out at you. Same thing with rocks and other harder materials. It breaks down at a certain time, which gives it the particles, the vibrating particles will vibrate more and more and more and fly further away. It's called radioactive, which means that particle ceasing to exist. It's breaking down. It's radioactive. That's where you get these measurements. And you measure like the isotopes, and there's machines that measure these things and determine, well, how exactly old is something? And even then they have now insane discoveries in the universe saying there's material, there's a sun in the universe that's older than the universe itself. Like, huh? That don't make sense. How could it be older than the universe itself if the universe was a big? Nothing makes sense. So, yeah, billions of years old there. We'll just say billions according to the new literature. That's up to you guys. And that's based off the machines that measure it and the idiots that are performing it. Now, I've been in that. I've been in those labs. So I've seen the people doing it. It's guys like me and Bigfoot Anon, just after a midnight party, coming in with a fucking lab outfit, part of grad school class. Well, that's the guys you fucking determined to tell you how old something is. This
is what basically like an art, these articles, whatever, what is global warming? It says since the Industrial Revolution, the global annual temperature has increased in total by a little bit more than 1 degree Celsius, or about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Between 1880, the year that accurate record keeping began, in 1980 and 1980, it rose on average by 0.07 degrees Celsius.
Stop right there.
Okay.
Say that part again.
What part?
Very, very important. Back up to where it says the point where people what?
Okay, here, let me. I'm gonna make this screen a little bigger. I'm gonna bring it a little bigger so everybody can see it for themselves too. I think that's bigger. That's better. Okay, it says since the Industrial Revolution, the global annual temperature has increased in total by a little more than 1 degree Celsius, or about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Between 1880, the year that accurate record keeping began, in 1980.
That's where that's important to remember. The point in 1880 when they started keeping records, because we don't know anything. Everything's based off, we'd say, anthropological records from a single person or a scientist or somebody writing things down in a group consensus that this is the way it is. But before that, there was stories, there were folk campfire fables, there was the demon in the forest that comes out, because the devil always lives in the forest at night, during a certain time, up until we started writing things down. That's basically what we're trying to say.
Yeah, then it says here, the result, the planet that has never been hotter, 9 of the 10 warmest years since 1880 have occurred since 2005.
Yeah.
And the 5 warmest years on record have all occurred since 2015. Climate change deniers have argued that there has been a pause or slowdown in rising global temperature, but numerous studies, including a 2018 paper published in the journal Environment, have disproved the claim. The impacts of the global warming are already harming people around the world. Now, this is the problem that I've always said, that it says disproven the claim, or the claim has been proven. I've always said on anything, you can always find, going back to residue, you can always find residue to find the proof, and you can always find residue that disproves the proof. So it's just like it's like talking to one scientist on the left. Yes, it's real. You talk to a scientist on the right. No, it's all made up. It's just a cycle of the earth. So it's like, what's true and what's not?
I could argue with Sasquatch here about the earth being round, and he can counter argue with it being flat. And he'll have as much evidence to support it's flat that I would have with it's round.
Exactly.
He ain't gonna win. It's just not gonna. Since people have started to write things down is when we knew all of this happened.
But now this is what it says. What causes global warming? Okay, now let's say it's real. So what's causing it? According to this, global warming occurs when carbon dioxide, CO2, and other air pollutants collect at the atmosphere and absorb sunlight and solar radiation, which you mentioned about rocks. Solar radiation that have bounced off the Earth's surface. Normally, the radiation would escape into space, but these pollutants, which can last for years to centuries in the atmosphere, trap the heat and cause the plant to get harder. So in the past, I used to hear how the ozone layer is getting thinner, but now you're hearing this, that instead of getting thinner, I would think it would escape more, but with the ozone layer getting thinner, somehow it's holding in the heat even more. So I'm confused as hell. So how's that possible?
The particulates in the upper, I'm going to use layman's terms, the particulates in the upper spheres is not allowing the radiation to escape. In other words, if you do in fact have a dome, an actual solid dome, that dome is not allowing anything to escape. Nothing's getting out of it. Nothing can pierce through that dome. Dink, dink, dink. So it's bouncing back. We're turning to what they would define as Venus. Venus is supposed to be like this. It's weird to me that you have two extremes that what Earth could be. Now you have Earth, which is in the Goldilocks zone, which is just right.
You know what?
But if you go to Mars, it's too cold. No, this is too cold, the little bear says. You go to Venus, it's too hot. And let
me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Because I saw a UFO research team was actually in the chat.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you something. With the heat getting warmer, the Earth getting warmer, in the last 5 years, the increase of seeing unflying objects has increased dramatically.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, in theory, can we say maybe we're seeing more UFOs? I'm not saying they're from space, they're not aliens, I'm not saying all that, but because the Earth is increasing, maybe other life forms are coming here, but because they can actually be here more because the Earth is getting warmer. Does that sound crazy?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna say this is a comic book, guys, so do not take what I say seriously. But it's kind of interesting for them to come watch us die. I mean, according to if the data is correct, and Yellowstone is in fact getting hotter, which is evidence is showing it, and volcanoes are all erupting all over the back of this fucking turtle, and certain pressures are increasing. Waters are getting hotter. There's whales washing up on birds dying on the ground. There's all kinds of signs, tall tale signs of death on this planet. They're showing up to watch the killing party. You know, they're going to watch people die. I don't know. That's what the evidence is being presented. That is what is being presented. The narrative. I can't stop looking at the information about the whales coming up to die. The pictures of them all over the place. I'm sure Bigfoot and I can back me up with tons of information.
Let me ask both of you this then. Let me ask you both of this. Let me ask you both of you on this theory. Theory. Okay. So everything is a fact. Just for this argument, let's say everything's for a fact, and our government knows that the world's getting warmer. If we don't do something, we're all going to die. Say we know that. In theory, if we know that the majority of the pollution are coming from third world countries and China. We know that. Okay? If we know that the world is getting harder, it's gonna kill our kids, their kids in the future, then why? The problem I have is then why are the government not stopping the third world countries and not stopping China? Because if we're gonna die, right? If you know we're gonna overheat and we're gonna die, wouldn't you do something now?
That's what they're
because Bob, we could cut all the emissions. We could cut all the car emissions here in America, all we want. But if the pollution is coming mostly from other countries, don't we think we have to do something? I'm just saying. What do you guys think?
We got technologies. We can run off electricity. We've even got evidence of running things off the ethers.
That's
we don't
my
even
point.
need electric companies anymore. We can run things off of hydrogen, which is water. It's not something. It's an idea. It's a fact. They've got planes I've seen now that can run off hydrogen. There's guys who convert their own cars to fucking hydrogen, which is just water. You know. I've seen all the evidence to support that we can switch over. We could have done it a long time. In fact, it shows now. Evidence is showing that there was a secret past that ran things off electricity all over the place. They didn't have fossil fuels. They didn't use the blood of the fucking turtle to run shit, the black tar. They have all this stuff. Why? We don't know. What is the guys behind the curtain want to do? We don't know what the fuck. We know that they're running us into a gauntlet, wearing the masks and learning how to disassociate and they're playing their game. We're just pawns on a fucking chessboard at this moment. But Eric, you're right. We don't have to have it. But they just passed their new rules now in Europe. The EU is going to be doing away with all fossil fuel cars and it's moving over to electric.
Well, this is what this article here says. What are the other effects of global warming? Each year, scientists learn more about the consequences of global warming.
Every year.
And each year, we also gain new evidence of its devastating impact on people and the planet. As the heat waves, droughts, and floods associated with the climate change become more frequent and more intense, communities suffer and death toll rises. If we're unable to reduce our emissions, scientists believe that the climate change could lead to the deaths of more of 250,000 people around the globe every year and force 100 million people into poverty. So if we know this, I'm just saying, I would think if we know this, and I look at the government not doing nothing, then I don't know if I could believe it in the reports, because if the reports are true, wouldn't you do something now? Now, I'm not talking about, we're going to cut emissions 30% more every year. That's not going to, America is not the problem if the pollution is coming from other countries. What are we doing about them?
Yeah, I'll let Bigfoot and I probably chime in on this one. He's the earthy guy. They fuck. I don't know. It's somebody behind the curtain going, this is the way we're going to play the game, and we're just going to move it that direction. So we're just moving into a direction that's supposed to be.
I like this. In the future, they may consider it as profit. As profit,
yeah. There's always a profit, man.
So Bigfoot, I know you've been a little quiet on this because I've been talking too much. What do you think about if this is all true? Then why are we not doing something with the rest of the world?
Right. Me personally, man, I think a lot of it is just them twirling us in circles, because back before this modern society, the mound builders, they built mounds and adjusted them with the moon and the sun, and they were able to get the free energy, the same stuff that Nikola Tesla was talking about. If you crack the code of 3, 6, and 9, you don't have to pay for Wi-Fi or water. You can just tap into the aquifer and the electricity, that surrounds us. So I'm huge on looking through all that. Just that whole newspaper article, I saw so many code words and strange numbers and names. And then, I just saw a video of Greta Thunberg saying, the global crisis, it doesn't exist. You have to make it exist. And I can't get with that. I'm huge on there is so much energy, and we do have to take care of this planet 100%. Yeah. We have to step our game up. But we are not going to run out of water. We're not going to run out of anything. But yes, they are going to constrict us of our energies and tax the crap out of us and make us feel bad and pass laws. And, even these electric cars, once you're driving it, it's better. But it takes 8 years worth of driving of electricity and power just to make it. So come on, guys. We can do some math like that.
Let me tell you something, Bigfoot, where I believe you 100%. I told Bob this a while back. There's a guy knocked on my door. He's a salesperson from the power company, and he goes, and he goes, hey, we could transfer your power to a cleaner power. Now, how they transfer it, I don't know. I know the cable company could do that. It'd be cleaner power and it's less harmful on the planet. Whatever. Okay, whatever. And he showed me the chart on how much better this cleaner power is somehow. And he's like, okay, so what does that mean for me? What does that mean? Well, your bill will go from here to here. It'll go up. So I'm like, my bill will actually go up? He goes, yes, because you're making an investment. That's what he said. Hold on. You're making an investment for us to use the extra money to make even cleaner power. And I'm sitting there like, hold on. I'm thinking to myself, but if I'm investing into your company for cleaner power, what do I get out of it? I'm serious. I had to pay more and I get nothing out of it, just thinking that you guys are going to do well with my extra money. Right. I'm just like, I'm sitting there like, this is the most craziest shit that I ever heard. A salesperson is going to get me cleaner power, but I have to pay more. And I'm thinking, well, if I have cleaner power, what does that do to my house? Does my computer run faster? Do I get better internet? What the fuck do I get out of it?
It's getting down that dark path, man. Kamala Harris and the Decepticon president, they declared war on climate control because they said racism, causes it in America.
Yeah.
It's getting to such a joke. Like, I really can't take much of it serious. Like, there are thousands of continents out there. Tesla was tapping into it. If Tesla didn't exist, then it definitely is free energy, because then they created the icon of Tesla just to meet us halfway and to cover up the mound builders. I'm going to a Native American mound here, in a couple hours, and there's 6 of them right in that area, and they all align with the winter and summer solstice. And none of these people had electricity or anything, but how did they align that? Because there is ancient knowledge and stuff that is beyond what they're giving us. So we have to start feeling things and believing ourselves. Even the water we drink is tainted. We have to start tapping into the creeks and the lakes and the aquifer and our wells.
Bottled water.
Yeah.
But you're right. Even though if you think global warming is real or not, you do still got to take care of your own land, your own forests and all that. Because like you said, we did a show on Friday about Bigfoots, about the land they live on. If you don't take care of our mountains and stuff, we are affecting the animals.
Well, if you look at Teddy Roosevelt, he actually was the one who went out and was the pioneer of stopping purchasings of all the properties and lands out in the United States. He's the one who started the National Park Service. So, he's a hero in that aspect. But if you ever sat back, and I'm a hunter, camper, fisherman. I know you guys, Eric, you were born and raised the same way. Out run around. If you actually stop and look at a fucking United States map and look at all that territory for all these areas that are national parks. It's huge. I mean, it's huge, and I mean really huge. Now, am I saying all citizens grab your backpacks and go move in the forest and chop them down and turn them into cities? No, I don't want to see that happen. But when they say that we're overpopulated and we don't have enough space and all this stuff, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'd say maybe 80% of the fucking planet's not even populated in certain areas. It's fucking, we got this massive.
You're right. Montana is considered one of the biggest states in the United States and has the less population out of almost any state.
But when you take a people and expand them in the areas where there is no power fucking station or there's no amenities they would have in a city, then they are forced to come up with new ideas
to make money.
You're right. I threw him in the middle of a fucking forest and he's not stupid. Giving him about a year and a half and some piece of paper and a pen, he's going to come up with a system of electricity based off the land that he lives on. Probably a couple of fans, a couple of these rotation fan water. He'll use creeks. We'll have buckets with fucking chains moving. He's going to have some kind of power generator machine done within a year and a half. He's going to power his shit up with, and he don't need the grid anymore. They don't want people expanding out there like that because they'll come up with that. That's how inventions are come. Inventions come from the environment, extreme environments. You're in an area without something, you got to come up with it on your own. And that's how inventions are made. Keeping people locked into fucking city prisons, well, you don't need, nobody's coming up with new ideas. You don't need it. So, of course they locked the land up. You can't go out in the forest with a backpack and live like Grizzly Adams anymore. You're technically illegal. You're living on. You're
trespassing.
Yeah, you can go to prison for that. You can't raise 2 goats and a cow on federal property. Can't do it. You'll go to jail. So they can't just can't just Grizzly Adams it up into a fucking national park area, build a log cabin, have 2 oxes and a mule or whatever, have my own electricity for running creek.
You mean we can't be like Jeremiah Johnson?
Yeah, be like Jeremiah
Mountain Man, just go up in the mountains and start to live off the land?
No, because number one, you're not paying taxes on the property that you're living on. You're not paying taxes on the log cabin you're living on. Even those cows and those oxes, you got to pay taxes on. So you are instantly a criminal. The moment you pack up your backpack and go off like Jeremiah Johnson, you become a criminal in the eyes of the IRS.
Yeah.
Number one.
Isn't it weird when you think about it? You got to pay more for clean air, clean energy. And let's look at food, like food, or organic food that's supposed to be cleaner, better for you, but you also got to pay more. It's like for us to live healthier, to have better power, you got to pay more, but we're in poverty. So it's like, it's like, okay.
Well, yeah, because you're not supposed to. You're a slave. You got to live in fucking city prison. Yeah, I mean, if you're not living in city prison, you're gonna live in a town next to city prison. So nobody can just be independent and free and walk off with their rifle. In fact, we watched that movie. It has a lot. People need to watch it slowly and break it down. The Dead Don't Die is another one of those new gems that gives you tons of Easter eggs, man.
Just like Cabin in the Woods. They're all clues.
And the Dead Don't Die. They had, what's his name? Was it Bob that lived out in the forest? He had that rifle that he had made from a fucking plank of wood that he lived in the forest. He's technically illegal. You understand? They called him an animal. He lived out. He was the smartest one. He lived out in the forest. Technically, that's illegal. He's he can't do that. So even that movie, and it talks about people's addiction to technologies, and everybody's a prom queen is still walking around as a prom queen. You never get it out of that person's fucking head. So I mean, it's horrible to be a prom queen because then you have that permanent stigma in your mind. You might as well just commit suicide later. I can only be prom queen one time in my life, and I can't ever be prom queen again. It's horrible. People that kind of, stigma. But anyway, yeah, Eric, the whole thing about this global warming, it's humans. They're contributing a little bit, but the Earth itself contributes the most. Man, it's called paleoclimatology. where you had volcanoes in the past pretty much wipe out all humans and wipe out everybody.
If you go back to the report, this part here, now this section says, where does the United States stand in terms of the global warming contributors? Let's see what this says.
Yeah.
In recent years, China has taken the lead in global warming population. Of course they did. They produce a lot of stuff too.
They make everything.
Okay. Producing about 20% of all CO2 emissions. The United States comes in second, despite
20%.
making up just 4% of the world's population. Our nation produces a sovereign 13% of global CO2 emissions.
13.
Yeah, 13. Nearly as much as the European Union and India, third and fourth place combined. And America is still number one by far in cumulative emissions over the past 150 years. As a top contributor of global warming, the United States has an obligation to help propel the world to a cleaner, safer, and more incredible future. Our responsibility matters to other countries, and it should matter to us too. Now, I look at that, right? And we kind of talk about this a little, not being in a small way last night about comic books where when the world's in a recession, it seems like the governments and the whatever banks, they all want to bail out the car companies, right?
Yeah.
So if the cars is increasing our emissions by this much, then let them fail, right? No, hear me out. Let them fail. Stop wasting our money on them. Then start forcing these companies to go away from gas and start making electric cars. Because if this is true, then why are our taxpayer money going to government to bail out the car companies that's causing more emissions versus other companies in the world?
Right. Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke because they own it. You know, lobbyists.
Yep. It's because we're in the pockets with China, and it all just says it right there. 13%. How many colonies were there in America originally? 13. So everything signed and stamped by that has to go through, the Federal Reserve banks, back to China, back to the original lab. It's all a scam, man. I remember watching the Al Gore Inconvenient Truth in school and them making a parade about it. And then now none of that has came true. You can see literally pictures of the ocean, back in the 60s. And now, I know some glaciers are melting, but like you said, that's how the world works. Guess what? There will be glaciers forming as well. But that's just the cycle of life, and we have to stop being taxed and demonized about it. It's not us, we do have to step up our game, but we don't have the power to take down Mother Earth.
No, we don't.
Yeah. And I've told people, when people say America and China are going to go to war, and I always told people, no, we're not going to go to war because China and America needs each other for money reasons.
Yeah, well, they make our parts for our guns.
We buy products from each other. One can't be a powerhouse without the other. You got to have two players. Players. You got to.
They're all the same. It's one world government. It's a one world system. And everybody depends on each other, with the exception of Russia, which is trying to start their own little. But anyway, one world system. There's no way. Well, if we do go to war with China, it's fake.
Yep, exactly.
It's the same thing as World War I. It's fake,
As long as the Antarctica Treaty is signed, everything is a scam and just made up just to push us forward towards the agenda of iRobot and I Am Legend.
Yeah, we're getting there. And I'm waiting for the next volcano to
China invented paper money.
Right? They did. Well, not money. The money is a misconception word. It's promissory note is the proper name for that. They invented the promissory note. This is worth something to, let me read it here. That bank, you promised me gold for this if I hand this in to you. Well, we don't have the gold. The gold is at this other bank. So take our note, carry this note, promissory note to that bank for that gold. Go to that. We don't have the gold here. I see what you want. Now, here's our promissory note. We signed this here. You guaranteed gold. You got to go to this bank. Pretty soon, you're all over the fucking, where the hell is the gold? Who is holding the gold? Then they send you back to the first bank. We don't actually have the bank gold here, but we have a promissory note. We'll send you back to the first bank that you came from, and then they're going to have the gold for you. It's big old loop circle again. Nobody has the metal, the precious metals backed dollar anymore. There's no such thing as a dollar.
Yeah, you used to be able to trade it for silver. Now they'll just
trade it for silver and gold.
They'll just give you GPS coordinates now. Your map quests. Come on, man. That's sad. That's the illusion. And we're in a placebo world, and people still want to keep pushing forward like everything's okay. At least we're raising eyebrows and trying to get people to question things. You can't stop the river's current, but you can try to maybe build a beaver's dam. Alert the people on the side.
Well, let's say everything is real. And this one here says, is the United States doing anything to prevent global warming? So let's see if we're doing anything about it. Let's see here. We started, but in order to avoid the worsening effects of climate change, we need to do a lot more, okay, together with other countries to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and transition to clean energy source. Okay. Under administration of President Trump, a man who falsely referred to global warming as a hoax, the United States withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, roll back or eliminate dozens of clean air protections, and open up federal managed lands, including culturally sacred national monuments, to fossil fuel development. Although President Biden has pledged to get the country back on track, years of inaction during and before the Trump administration and our increased understanding of global warming serious impacts mean we must accelerate our efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Now I'm reading all that, right? Now, I'm not saying, but listen, Donald Trump was only in office for 4 years. He withdrew because every other president, while we're in this, Obama, I could say Bush, Bill Clinton. Well, when we were in it, why couldn't we do anything in the past? So why is it always like we got to fix it now? But Trump did this. But even before Trump did that, if we knew about this in the past, then why are we still having cars with gas? Why? What? I mean, listen. If you need to fix it, the way to fix something is you just get rid of it. Stop it. Just say one day, no more. Listen, we already have enough cars out there. I think we talked about that yesterday. People don't need to have 5 or 10 cars in their parking lot. So stop all productions of cars with gas and start building the electricity cars, because we got enough cars and supplies to last us until this is built. So why don't we do that? If it's real, why can't we just do that?
Well, they will. The moment people start getting it's happened, the car's hacked. Well, I mean, the only way to stop that is to hack the cars. Right. There's no way you're going to ever stop production because people are dependent on the jobs. I mean, when I say dependent on a car job, manufacturing, the entire globe is dependent on, because China's sending parts to the.
But don't we already have enough cars in the inventory as it is?
Seats are being made in Germany, and everything's being made in a different fucking factory all over the back of the trip. It's a one world government system when it comes to vehicles or any production of anything. So you're cutting out jobs all over the place. That's the excuse.
But if we're dying, like they say we're going to die, don't we got to protect lives first?
But they are doing that now. They've already put, I think it was going to be in 2024 is when in Europe it's going to be no more fossil fuel vehicles anymore. They're switching to.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, they are switching to. They've already put it, implemented a plan. So it's going. I think. Don't quote me. I think it's in 2024. The UN's already done that. Not only that, they're taking the salt out of your McDonald's burgers, which is what they've done too. They've eliminated all kinds of things you can't have anymore. They've sugared out of sodas.
Sketches wrote, Australia is in UN now for a couple of years as promissory notes are legal.
But believe it, I've used Euro all over the place. Euro is that one money system kind of a thing, and it's really convenient. I was in Australia, fucking Euro. I was in over Holland, Euro. Everybody's got the Euro. It was fucking convenient. They made it easy. So they're making it. The UN is the one world government is really fucking doing it. United States, of course, we're the military. So we got to keep the military. We got to keep the Spartans a little bit different than the rest of the globe. We got to be a little bit more edgy. We're going to keep the Europe. We're going to keep the British banking system, which is the Federal Reserve in America and in England, because we have a different role in the world stage. That's why we're like that. So we gotta have cars in America because we're a war machine.
Let me ask you a side question, Bob, for a second. When you said military, a story came in my head, just off topic, whatever, in a way. Norway, you're an hour away from Norway, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just learned that America is building a military base in Norway.
Yeah, they're building a couple of bases in Norway.
You know why? You know how I learned this?
I know.
Somebody's gonna be stationed in Norway.
Yeah, I got the same.
And I'm like, wow. Why? I'm thinking to myself, but why are we building a station in Norway? Is there something else coming that we don't know?
Yeah, I've got the same Happy Father's Day message. So yeah, he's up there. He's gonna be heading up to Norway. The thing about Norway is it's right next to Sweden, which is the chaotic neutral country. I mean, they have their neutral ground. So Sweden, of course they are. But it's funny thing about Norway, they also have a lot of old Nazi tunnels all over Norway. They have, a lot of old pre-war or not pre, but after World War II tunnels, Nazi tunnels for submarines in Norway, all over the place. I want to go up there and explore, big time. There's opening it up. Norway's kind of opening themselves up a little bit to America, so they've got a lot of American bases being opened up in Norway, which is
they must be trading. They're trading access, to these bases, and they probably have some precious, knowledge down there that they're trading to America, probably just for protection. That's pretty crazy. If you look at a map of all the military bases around the world, there are some very suspicious ones. Like they're at weird points of like Antarctica and Africa and Australia. Yeah. Crazy places.
Crazy locations.
That really just opens up your eyes. If you just compare maps, man, where do people disappear? Where are the cave systems? Where are the UFO sightings, the Bigfoot sightings, the ley lines? Where does it all converge? It's right there, man.
In Norway, there's a lot of UFO sightings in Norway.
Giants as well.
Yeah, and they have a lot of visual when it comes down to Aurora Borealis. You can see it from Norway. You see a lot of the magnetic sphere and all the strange anomalies from Norway. And Norway also had, again, with the UFO sightings, lots of them. And now we're moving. The Roman Empire is now, the Romans are moving Roman soldiers up into Norway. They're moving, Roman soldiers are being moved out of Afghanistan and the Middle East and being moved around these other perimeters. It looks like a lot of northern movement going on. Northern movement, or if it's flat, I guess it'd be more. Anyway, it's more towards the middle, I guess it would say, of the disc. But yeah, that's interesting. That's a really interesting concept,
isn't it?
Between 4 to 8 months, something big's coming. That's what they're saying online and on all the underground channels. So, guys, hunker down 100% and get your guys' food and water and make sure things are right, because it's going to get rocky the next few months here. In America and across the world.
If there was a big ass shit storm that happened in America, a nice place would be in Norway's tunnels. If you think about it, it would be a good place to be in Norway. Also in Greenland is another fucking. In fact, there was a movie that just came out with Rutger Hauer, or not Rutger Hauer,
Gerald Butler.
Yeah, Gerald Butler. You seen it?
Yep, and he was in Geostorm too. So Geostorm and Greenland both came out right after one another. Mm-hmm. We got our ears perked up. We know. I hope everybody else knows. I know Chocolate knows. I know Hobbs knows. I know Carla knows. Shockdahl knows. Our community knows. But the rest of the family, we need to tell our family members.
Yeah. If you were Globus, they're going more to the top of the tippy top of the globe. If you're a flat earther, they're going more towards the center of the globe.
So what do you think? Is there any connection with global warming and Antarctica?
Well, that would be the trigger point. That's supposed to be, if it melts, you have fresh water melting into the oceans, and you're going to have underwater freshwater currents that's going to bash and collide and change the underwater currents. If you have the underwater freeway changes, then weather patterns change, because weather patterns follow the underwater currents. People don't fucking know that. What happens up there starts down there. That's how the weather
so below. The water's above, the water's below. It's
I like this comment. Don't tell your family. They already think we are mad. I love that.
Yeah, we're only having this channel.
Yeah, we're only having a discussion. We're just, we sometimes we like to play the what if.
Yeah, and this is a comic book anyway. Nothing we say is true, guys. We are strictly talking about the comic book that we are living in right now. We're simply comic book characters. And so there we go.
Yep. Mama Sasquatch and Wolverine, the Exiles.
And then I like what Long Reach says here. They won't listen anyway.
Listen anyway. You explain to them, I'm just hypothetically talking about a comic book that we live in. Now, in this hypothetical world that we live in, then you give them the questions. They'll probably answer it, as long as you tell them that, no, this is fake. Just tell you in a comic book.
And how can we listen? We're not talking crazy, no matter what, because now if the world is getting warmer, what did Bigfoot just say earlier? You get more food, get water ready, because if we are heading into a warmer climate, then we're going to need the water. We're going to need all this, because the first thing that's going to go is more fires, because things get hotter. People throw matches out or cigarettes out, or sometimes the right shine of a sun. Bob, don't make a comment about my fingers. And I know you're thinking. We're going to have more fires, and that's going to affect the animals and the lands and all that. And, But the fires are not all bad in a weird way, because, Bob, what was it? In the Yellowstone National Park, when they had a massive fire, I don't know what year, they found all brand new, beautiful plants that actually grew because the sun was hitting parts of the Yellowstone that it never hit it before. So sometimes, sometimes beauty does grow after an exact,
Well, people don't know about the Northwest, or the West, the United States, the Northwest. We have the Northwest. They call it the Evergreen State, because it's green. It got fucking pine trees. We're just gonna say generally pine trees. Pine trees are a desert tree.
1987 in Yellowstone. There it is. 1987. I was that year in Yellowstone. Thank you. Thank you.
People don't know it, but thousands of years back. Now, pine trees are new. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. You're just fucking young. Pine trees are a desert tree. That's why they have little teeny fucking little pony little leaves. They don't have full leaves, foliage. They have the pine trees moved from the south all the way up to the northwest during time. They used to be tall grass. Used to be grass, pretty much grassy plains all over the United States. Northwest was grass, and you had large megafauna, and you had big old huge hairy ass elephants, and they had all these big old animals eating grass. Bovine-ish animals lived up there. The tree moved seed by seed by seed for over thousands of years. It moved from the hot climate deserts all the way up to the northwest. But what do you mean by that? Well, it means the pine tree is not indigenous to the northern hemisphere of the United States. It's not. It's fucking introduced through time, moving up. So fires were common with the high grass. These fires would be, it's important for grass. They would burn. Oh, you get half a dinosaur. It's green. You can't see the whole thing.
Fire is very important. There's a couple trees here and plants here in Florida that they require fire to fully bloom, So it's part of the yearly process. So that's crazy, man. But sometimes it's not set up. And again, if you look at the maps, where are the fires? Oh, where are they building the high power rail systems? Oh, right there. That's a natural way. It just cleared itself. laser beams, like Dr. Evil said. You know, sharks with laser beams. How does it melt cars, but it doesn't catch the house out next to it on fire? Like, come on.
I like it's cool saying fifth element, creation from destruction.
Yeah, because in Australia, like you have the specific trees in Australia that they have that oil, that thick oil. You get all the oils from. It's a tinderbox tree designed to burn. It's supposed to burn this tree. There's trees, their seeds can't crack open unless it's through high heat. There are plants that require fire to live. Trees require fire to live. So fire is a natural part of the ecosystem, and it's always been that way. It wasn't until humans come aboard much later who totally changed and controlled the environment. It reminds me of the story of Thor when he went up and him and his crew went up and they met that giant, and the giant gave them challenge games where he gave them the horn of with the meat in it, the booze, and he kept drinking from it. Idea is to drink it and win the game, but he couldn't stop drinking it and it wouldn't stop flowing no matter what happens. He was drinking the ocean water. He found out later on he was tricked. And then he was fighting an old woman, and the old woman kept kicking his ass, and he couldn't figure it out. Then he found out he can't fight death. You can't win death. You can't win the environment. You can't win fire against fire. You can't win against oceans and water. You can't win. The earth will always win. Same thing with people building houses, building shit in everywhere, and trying to control their environment. No, man. Now Mother Nature will come for you. It's supposed to happen.
And say the earth is warming up by a degree, whatever.
Supposed to happen.
Isn't it, but isn't it nature that we will also involved with? Kind of like we moved from Washington to, we moved from California to Washington. California's a harder state, and your body has to adjust to the new climate. Well, our bodies unless it like overheats by 30 degrees, but if it does change by a year, don't we just
biologically in the first place? Change. We have a mutation cell, but we can spontaneously mutate. I don't know. We might. I don't. Pretty much, people are going to die. That's what the Earth does. It kills the species off, and then whatever remainder of the species that survive will repopulate that area. And the Earth goes, "Oh, thank God, I got all those fucking ticks off my back." Humans are parasites, man, on the back of this fucking turtle. I'll tell you that. So eventually, nature's going to take it back. It's just inevitable. You can't win against nature. I don't know what to tell people. I don't want to die. I don't either. But you might as well just start fucking getting used to it.
Here's Sketches wrote, birds dispute seeds as well. Yes, Bob, the Albernians use fire here to control and hunt. We lost trees that were here before Australia.
They're smart. The original indigenous peoples, exactly that. They had a culture where they had purposely burned sections. So they go in and burn a section, and then they plant in that section, and then they rotate it and leave it there, and then they go burn another section and let it grow wild. And then they control that section. They just do sections. They can control specific sections, but they control their areas. That's hard to do, but they've done it. These smaller indigenous cultures, and live fantastically equal with the environment in a balanced kind of way. But we don't do that now. We put shopping malls in places where it's not supposed to be. We put trailer houses in what they call that Tornado Lane. What's that called? Tornado Alley.
Tornado Alley. Yeah.
Tornado Alley. People don't realize it, but the United States government had a problem with homeless people. Facts. You go look up your own research. They had a problem with the homeless people. They couldn't afford housing. You got people living on those. They said, we got an idea. We're going to have trailers and give it to them. In fact, then they're going to encourage them to come up and purchase these cheap trailers and put them in this area specifically for them. So we can clean up a lot of the homelessness in some of these cities. The people have homes. It's worked out great. They put them in this place called Tornado Alley.
It almost sounds like the Purge in a way because the movie Purge is developed where they know the poor is who's going to die off more.
It's
maybe
not
small percentage of rich, but it's mostly to kill off the poor because in theory the poor are the ones who get welfare, who get free medical that we all pay for. So if you get rid of them, you're actually saving money for the rest of the people.
I learned about this in my disasters class, and that's a fact, Jack, that the United States government played stupid. Well, we don't think everyone's going to be affected by it. No, there's all these areas that it's just doing nothing in this environment. It's beautiful to have some people just come live on and just give them the trailers and allow them cheap, like almost no property tax whatsoever as an incentive to bring all these people out to these areas and buy trailers in Tornado Alley. Is it called? They don't call it Tornado Alley.
No.
What does that remind you of? Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans. Right. They just round a bunch of people up under sea level, and then they bomb the levees, and then they don't even report to help them. I literally went through a Hurricane Michael, a natural disaster, and more than 70 people died directly. Over 1,000 died after. So I know what it feels like to be a refugee in your own country. And, this is a Mandela channel, so we know about Kern and CERN and HARP, CRN and HAARP. They're definitely messing with the weather. Kodak Black has brought it up. A lot of people have brought light to it. And they align people up in Tornado Alley and then New Orleans in the French Quarter and then here in the Panhandle. And then they have these superstorms and, it's in Geostorm. It's in the day after tomorrow. They're really messing with us, man. And they blame it on us as well. But if you look at the, signatures, you see the 13s. It's clear as day.
Well, now you've got interdimensionals popping their little heads through, popping them through the wall a little bit and popping back in. They call them tic tacs, popping their head in and popping them back. If you have that technology where you don't need to worry about, in the equation, you don't need to worry about gravity anymore, you can certainly manipulate a cloud or two. So I wouldn't put it past. It's on the table. You've got a couple of interdimensionals playing around with the weather. I mean, I don't know. I always joke about this might be a killing field. And people say, what do you mean by killing field, Robert? What I said, well, I've done videos where I walked around all up and down in Manchester and certain other outside areas, and I've done an eye on the ground, boots on the ground, 100%, not looking for things, but finding things, trying to keep an open mind, and I could see fucking evidence of large mud flows. I mean, when I say large mud flows that have come over areas and consumed entire structures where I had got in there, broke off the rock, pulled it off, and there's a goddamn brick building in there behind the rock, mud rock. And I'm like, this is, and I look up at holistically look at the entire area and say, my God, this is one huge wave of mud that had come in and consumed this whole area. I see they call it the mud floods.
Yep.
I don't like to contribute to any new fucking conspiracy. However, I saw the evidence for fucking mud flood. It hardened rock. It used to be mud. I said, my God. I even sent an email to Matt from Quantum Mechanics. Hey, dude, I'm in England, dude. You won't believe this shit. Here is fucking evidence that I'm holding in my hand for ancient mud flows that consumed buildings and structures underneath the fucking rock.
And the giants, man, they were turned to stone and mud. So, yes, this world is much stranger than they give us credit. And there is so much electromagnetic activity alive right now. We are this big. We're not just the shell of our body, our physical form, We are spirits. We are electromagnetic waves. And look at us. We're at all different points of this, continent and universe. You're at a whole different side of the earth. Yeah. And it's truly remarkable that, we're here in time. So some way, somehow, waves can travel like that. So
there is electrical. I mean, there is electrical activity I've never seen before. Well, after 2016 and forward for me, but I have seen nothing but insane shit when it comes to electric. And there's the aurora borealis is going off the charts. The sun whatever camera that's watching the sun is showing sunspots like crazy. If you believe that's true, what they're coming through. I've seen evidence that it is true. Regardless if you think the sun is fake, there is something there. So there is a lamp there that's generating heat. So let's get over that. And there are cameras directed towards that lamp, either be fake or real, whatever your philosophy is. But it does give out the heat, and it can kill you. So that fucking cooking lamp can cook you. And right now it's throwing some weird shit out. I'm like, that's weird. And then there's a couple of tornadoes that just touched down in the States again. Tornado Alley, that's why I'm joking about it.
Yeah, Tropical Storm Claudette, man, it ripped us in Florida, and it killed 13 people up in Alabama.
13 people.
So exactly, rest in peace, man.
Oh, and speaking of Eric, I don't want to go too far into this. I'm going to do one thing real quick. I don't want to disrupt this whole thing. I'm going to talk about 13 one more time since we're on the subject of 13 people dying. Eric, you're an expert. There was a famous football player that had just come out of the closet. You know about that football player? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's been people who have been, but never came out to say they are. So
actively,
this one in particular, what's his number on his jersey? It's famous now. Everyone's talking about.
I know it's the number one selling.
I know he was 93 on the Browns. He might be 94, so that would make sense.
Yeah, take a look at that. Take a look at that.
And it's Carl Nassib. He used to play for the Browns. He used to play for the Buccaneers. Now he plays for the Raiders. Oh, kind of weird that they just changed to Las Vegas, where they had the shooting. We still haven't got any answer for that either. Yeah. So literally, it all connects.
Yeah, he wears 94, which equals to 13.
13. Okay. Go ahead. Yep. Okay, I go back to the 13. Okay, go back to I just wanted to let everyone know that his jersey, of all the jerseys, Eric, how many different numbers do you have on it? How many numbers can you come up with on a jersey?
Well, it starts from 00 all the way to 99.
Okay, and so he just happens to be within this matrix agenda 94 or 49?
94.
94, which comes out to 13. Okay. Just saying, and then Eric, remember the last Super Bowl we watched? Remember the scores of the Super Bowl we were joking about, how they both come into 13? So anyway, just letting you guys know to keep an eye out for the weird anomalies like that in the source code. Yep. It's always giving you a message of what's real and what's not. Okay, continue on. Sorry about that.
No. I mean, like I said, we're going to end the show a little earlier today because I got to get packing. But at the end of this, so what do we got? So what should we look forward to then?
Climate change, like a motherfucker. I just think it's again, people, do not take me seriously, but I personally look at this as a book, as a novel, and I've called out every chapter. Of all the people, truthers out there, I'm not truther. I'm just simply calling out the chapters. And I can see the next chapter going down the pike as
you're not a
weather.
Bob, you're not a truther?
No, I don't.
Okay. You're a baby truther.
No, I'm a novelist.
Oh.
I believe in reading the novel and reading the sign, like the old native cultures, like Bigfoot would say. You read sign. You're a
searcher. You're a searcher. You're a researcher.
There's language all around us. You just have to
I read sign, and the sign is telling me that we're gonna go through a hell of a weather fucking change up here coming up real soon, as well as a lot of new interdimensional fake fucking whatever research information coming out of whatever's. So,
I'm personally really nervous about the hurricane season because I always slept on natural disasters. But once Hurricane Michael was over my head, and, made my mom cry and ripped my trailer apart, broke all my windows, and basically stole my livelihood. I lost my job because the bowling alley was destroyed. My sister, she's an addict and she had stability, and then her life was ripped from her, and it's just craziness. And I'm really scared that they're gonna really mess with us this upcoming season, and then they're gonna blame all this starvation. They're paying farmers not to farm right now. Then they're gonna blame it on the weather, so it's gonna be all the weather problems, and there will be weather problems. There will be things going on, but that's an easy cop out for man-made problems, and it's very sad that they're just gonna blame Mother Nature, and they're gonna usher in this New World agenda. And you can't hide from it because they can just zap you with thunderstorms or flood you out, and they have it all mapped out. America is made by, the Freemasons, the bricklayers, and everything is a huge coordination that they could just zap or crap you out. It's truly amazing.
Yeah. Eric, what do you think? You think it's going to be a disastrous place, or is it going to be just like good times?
I don't know. I mean, everything you hear, in this state here, this state's not really in the 100-degree weather type of state. It's usually 70 and 80s, but on the news, the state's actually going to be in the hundreds. Now,
I know.
Now, up in the state of Washington always hits 100, but I'm talking about the Seattle area.
Yeah.
The Seattle area is supposedly in the next couple of days, we're going to be in the hundreds. Of course, I'll be on the East Coast. And I know other people say, well, it's 100 in Arizona. It's 100. Yeah, but when you're in a climate that's not designed for that, that's where different climate changes can affect areas. So,
not designed
more fires, more of this. So it's going to be interesting to see, Yeah. And then you always hear there's deaths that always happen with any kind of a weather change.
Well, yeah, we have a gal in Ocean Girl in Australia was talking about what's going on in the news. She was talking about Australia. There's a lot of people just having heart attacks that are just random for no reason, just having heart attacks. I'm like a percentage of them. I had to research. That is weird. They just have people just falling dead. I'm not blaming it on anything. I'm not blaming it on anything but natural causes.
No.
But
at the end of the day, you just have to live your life. Like something's not bad gonna happen because once you give in to any of it, it's like an easier way to get you out of the picture.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah.
You just have to move forward.
Connect with your creator, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I would recommend that you connect with something. Connect with something. Don't be eating no babies. And be nice to your neighbor, and then connect to whatever you have. Be cool about it.
It's not that hard. Yeah, it's not that
hard. Of course, you want nobody. You don't want no family member, of course, to get hurt or die from anything. But I look at it as if something did get destructed, if something did tore down, you're just gonna have to rebuild.
Yeah, either you're favored by the gods and you won't get touched, or you're not favored. But at least be in somebody's favor. I mean, come on. You got to do a little something. Don't just go fucking wander around. I'm an atheist. Well, good for you. I've never met an atheist in wartime, but you have a good time with that.
That's true. That's true. In wartime, you find God.
Yeah, I've never met
or if you go to prison,
either.
Somehow, when you go to prison, you found God.
Yeah, in disaster times, you don't want to be an atheist. In wartime, you don't want to be an atheist, people. So pick your God wisely.
When people say they're agnostic, I always say you just have to try some psychedelics or really just have some good conversations because clearly there's some kind of creator out there. Like what is just like made on a piece of paper or something?
Yeah.
Like either Matrix or creator. There's no agnostic way. I don't have any other hands.
Yeah. And you don't need to be a Mandela affected fucking. That's just a liar. They're just talking to a fucking demon or a jinn, but. Yeah, for those of you guys out there, anybody and everybody, no matter whatever your memory is, you have a creator. You are special, okay? Mm-hmm. There's nobody more special than you are. Remember things like that. You'll be fine.
Yeah, the odds of being alive are like more than any odds of any man-made thing you could do. Like, 1 in 30 trillion, like, is nothing even compared to the odds of being alive. So just the fact of existing and your energy still being alive and hearing this message right now, the odds of that are either, a number I can't even say, or just one of one. It was meant to be because everything was written. It's all in the Sumerian tablets. It's all in the prehistoric realm, all around America. Ask Bigfoot, the fairies, gremlins, elves, trolls, giants. They all will tell you the source energy is right there. You just have to tap in. It's just frequencies.
Tap it in, man.
All right. We got a brand new follower on D Live. David says, Miss Furry. I'm probably saying your name all bad. But,
which is cool.
But thank you for joining us, D Live. I'm gonna type in thank you for joining the family. Thank you for joining the family. So guys, going forward, thank you for joining me. going forward, letting everybody know that I'm actually going on vacation tonight. I'm flying out. I don't know if it's vacation. It's wife's vacation. It's her family. And I just happen to go from the West Coast to the East Coast. So there's going to be no show this Friday, but next week I'm going to be like crisscrossing shows in a way where I'm going to be dropping some of our shows from the Horror Talk channel onto it to see some of you might like the flavor and want to go to Horror Talk, and some of our shows that we did, Bob, on Horror Talk originally in the past, I'm going to drop some of that stuff on the Horror Talk channel, and then I'm going to find like our greatest clips, like our phone calls, phony phone calls. Yeah. I'll make segments just for that. And then I am still planning to do a live show next week, but Bob and I will play it by ear because I don't know what I'm doing the whole week. We'll just do it. I'm bringing the green screen with me to New York. Yeah. I'm going to be staying in a hotel. So, look, hold on. Our friend Mandela Affected.
If somebody's in my camp, put my last two videos. Put my last two videos on there. It's rewarding stuff. It's good information stuff. It's what I call codes.
Your channel, your videos are actually also up on my Reddit page.
Good, yeah, because there's a lot of important stuff in there.
And one of your videos, you actually had 3, but one got pulled down or something, or you might have pulled it.
No shit.
The one that says intro before the other 2. The one in intro says the video's unavailable.
Oh no shit!
Yeah. So I took that one off of Reddit, but your other 2 after that is still on there. Bob, you need to answer at the same time because I think you might answer differently. Okay, let's do for all 3 of us. What is the big round crisp called that you may eat before an Indian dish? Starts with P, ends with M.
Oh, fuck, man. I know what he's talking about, and I always get the name wrong. God damn it. Give me, you guys talk about, I just got Indian food yesterday. I'm going to go look at the package.
I honestly don't eat a lot of Indian food because in Washington, there's not really a lot of Indian restaurants.
Give me a couple of seconds. I'm going to run in the living room.
I sadly don't know. Pume? I have no idea, though. I haven't had many.
Papadum? Oh, somebody wrote Papadum too. Sketches wrote Papadum. That's a Mandela Effect. It always has like good ass fucking question.
I like that.
I really like the guy. I really like him.
That's the beauty to having these live shows, man. Anything can happen, and people, we always have sketches, and Carla and Hobbs always just putting in great information.
Got it.
Yeah.
Papa Dom. Again, I'm an American, and I'm still getting used to this Indian food, which is really alien to people from America. But they have that crispy. It looks like a tortilla. It tastes good, and I use it to dip in the stuff with. It's called a papadum. Now I'm American, dude. I'm mutilating it in an American accent.
In the next 2 weeks, I do want to do another UFO show and UFO research. I would love to have you on since your title represents UFOs and you got good videos. I love to have you to come on in the next 2 weeks. And my email address UFO is actually in the description. Email me, and that's try to find a day because Bob's been experiencing a lot more UFOs more than ever, and I would love to hear your opinion about the increase UFO sightings. I think that'd be an awesome show.
100%.
Papa Dumb. I'm mutilating it. So
beyond that, Bob, are you gonna have a show sooner this Saturday, or you're just gonna?
I've been doing code videos. I've been not live, but I've been doing the code videos again. Most likely I'll do a live Saturday. Depends on what format I might do. I'm not sure. I'll be putting some stuff out. Yeah.
Here we go. Melivective. Papa Dom, but it's flux and very interesting to research.
I'm gonna have to look it up now. Papa Dom. Yeah, I always say I'm not used to that. It's tasty.
Now,
I'm used to a tortilla, man, from the States. they don't have corn tortillas here, and I'm having a problem with that.
Let me just say this. Everybody in the chat, Mandela Affected. You should
Papa Dom.
You should go subscribe to him. And I'll tell you why. because when he does a show, when it's over, his video's off.
Yeah, his videos are done.
So you need to watch him live because that episode go off. But what's so cool about watching his show, he talks about personal effects.
Yeah.
Not top 40. Top 40. He talks about personal effects, and they're awesome because it's personal for him.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. I like the shows that are more personal effects.
Yeah, I know how I like to do it. I tell you what happened to me, and to me, if it relates to what happened to you, that's good. If it don't, then I don't give a shit. He's the same philosophy. I don't give a shit.
Now, what did she wrote here? Hello, Eric, Dr. Wu. Hello, Gypsy Road. It's been a minute with all gov, win, ab, disclosure, got lost in ufos, vortex, like a maze. A rabbit hole, laugh out loud. He just finally let me go.
UFO got you. Or being abducted.
Now, what's I know Bigfoot. I know you just put out small clips, whatever you do.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Are you going to have some more clips coming? I know you always have clips.
Yeah, we're going hiking very soon right now. Hidden Reality, Tristan Smith, who's been on our show before. He's on his way over, and we're going to investigate these new mounds that I just read up on. I read a 1981 study about them. There's 5 mounds, and then there's a circular burial mound a half mile down the creek. So I'm going to try to investigate and maybe excavate whatever I can. And there was bones that have been found over there, and then a lot of pottery. So if I can get my hands on anything, it'll be pretty magical. And then there's a trail that goes down the river that we've never investigated. So I'm going to look for, anything Sasquatch related, TPs, breaks, footprints, handprints, strange smells. And we're going to have the GoPros running the whole time, and definitely going to do some documentation. And then I'm going to the Apalachicola River next week, all the way down to Tate's Hell Forest. Tate's Hell is a swamp that this guy chased this panther that killed his dogs for 7 days, got lost out there. He finally made it out, and he said, "I'm Tate, and I just got out of hell." And he died moments after. So it's called Tate's Hell's Forest, and a lot of strange stories. And that's going to be the final chapter in my newest book, The Adventures of Countryman and Sabercat. And my buddy Ninja Ronnie is Sabercat. He's the one that finds, the prehistoric bones. This is that giant thumb bone that has made the rounds online. And then, we've captured strange faces in the dark along the creek, and then also weird carcasses over in the Honey Island Swamp. And then if anybody's, anything interested in paranormal, I wrote Big Brother Bigfoot, Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden. You can get those on Amazon. But I have a YouTube channel, TikTok, and Instagram. I'm trying to get 10K on TikTok. I'm at like 6,300 right now, so I'm almost there. I'm checking along, trying to hustle.
I got 18.
One video can just hit the masses, and then we can really touch the bases on Mandela effects and just the strange anomalies that they're curling into us, man. I'm just making the most of our final time. I really hope we have more than the next 8 months, but if not, we're doing the most with what we got.
Hell yeah.
Now do me a favor, when you do your archaeology, when you do your artifact stuff, do not make this mistake. You have a compass, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. So when you have the artifact and you're taking the picture, you have either your footprint or a shoe or a ruler. Put the ruler down, have a ruler with you, and set the compass for north. So in other words, always take the picture with the compass pointed north. So if you have an artifact, no matter how it's laying in the ground, or a site, no matter how it's in the ground, always take a picture with the compass north. So basically take the picture always magnetically north. That way you have a context. So when I look at it on a map, I go from north, and I'll know exactly the angle of what your artifact is or whatever your mound is.
Yeah.
Pictures about at any angle. They just snap stupid pictures from whatever angle they're standing in, and they don't do the north. When you do archaeology, make sure you put the compass down, have it point north, and take a picture pointing north. That way you know exactly. So when I go to a map at home and I see your picture, I can find it and know what exact direction it is by knowing north. Okay, so it's pointed north. I put a compass down. I'll know exactly what direction. I can actually visually see what you're talking about on the ground. A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, no, I was ignorant to that, but it makes 100%. And now I'm going to start doing that because that adds a whole nother level to the documentation. That's very important. Yeah. If I could have done that with a lot of my tracks, that could be even next level, you know. But as we've talked about before, I've taken strange pictures of tracks, you know, in 2017, October 5th, and then, you know, February 2021, a man in Canada, you know, steals my photos, and there's a whole newspaper article about it. So it's very silly. So we do have to document it correctly and right, and sadly put our signature on it, you know. But I hope everybody that just hears our information can just spread the tree of knowledge, because that's all we are, is just the birds carrying the seed to the next creek to carry it down to the rapids, and hopefully it makes it to the sea and finds an island in the middle and just creates a new life of a paradise, you know, a haven, a safe guardian of what we're looking for.
Yeah. And then, cool. UFO, save that thought. We need to get you with us on a show. What do you think of cigar-shaped UFOs that may not exist at all? That's perfect for a show. So get with us. We do a show. And one last thing before we go, guys. We did a kick-ass show last night about comics, about comic book stores. Comic book stores like dying out. Not dying out, but they're being hurt by the recession. And I gave tips on how to help out a comic book store. Go in there, buy $20-$30 worth of comics, and then go to an area that helps kids and donate them. Get comic books back into kids' hands, because we need kids to have imagination. We need kids to grow, and comics is a fun tool that all kids like to read. They love to read. So that's how you can help out. But we did a good show last night, and then beyond that, guys, I do got to end the show because I got to get packing. I got to get stuff ready. And then beyond that, we will have shows. I just don't know exactly when, but we will. Beyond that, everybody, have a good freaking day, and I'll see you definitely next week.
Safe trip to New York, man.
New York.